Hi, welcome to the quiz. You can answer along on quizalto.com, all for free. The exact URL of this quiz will be in the notes down below. Let's get started. Good luck. What is the recommended method for backing up Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP file systems? Using AWS Backup to create scheduled snapshots. Utilizing Amazon Elastic File System for replication. Manually copying data to an Amazon S3 bucket. Employing data lifecycle management policies. AWS Backup provides a centralized and automated solution for creating scheduled snapshots of Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP file systems, simplifying backup and recovery processes. Which AWS service can assist in optimizing data transfer performance with Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP? AWS Glue, AWS Direct Connect, AWS Snowball, AWS Budgets. AWS Direct Connect can optimize data transfer performance with Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP. What AWS service can help in reducing latency for applications accessing Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP? AWS IoT Core, AWS Ground Station, Amazon Poly, AWS Global Accelerator. AWS Global Accelerator can reduce latency for applications accessing Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP. What are some use cases for Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP? Backup and disaster recovery target for on-premises file systems. Cost-effective archive for infrequently accessed data. High-performance file storage for enterprise applications. Scalable file storage for web content hosting. Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP caters to various use cases, including high-performance file storage for demanding applications, scalable file storage for web content management, and migration of existing NetApp workloads to AWS. What factors can impact the performance of an Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP file system? The file system size, the underlying storage type. All of the above. The number of security groups attached to the instance. The Amazon EC2 instance type used for file system access. The performance of an Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP file system can be influenced by the file system size, the underlying storage type, and the Amazon EC2 instance type used for file system access. What is the difference between a throughput capacity order and a provisioning capacity order for an Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP volume? Throughput capacity orders are measured in IOPS, while provisioning capacity orders are specified in GB. Throughput capacity orders are ideal for workloads with consistent I/O patterns, while provisioning capacity orders are better suited for bursty workloads. Throughput capacity orders offer lower latency compared to provisioning capacity orders. Throughput capacity orders define the volume size, while provisioning capacity orders determine the performance capabilities. Throughput capacity orders are designed for workloads with predictable access patterns and guarantee a baseline level of performance. Provisioning capacity orders, on the other hand, are suited for bursty workloads and provide a set amount of IOPS. What are the two deployment options available for Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP? Deployment zone and capacity zone. Single AZ deployment, multi-AZ deployment with synchronous replication. Cloud tier and archive tier. HA pair with automatic failover, capacity on-demand instances. Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP offers single AZ deployments for cost-effective scenarios and multi-AZ deployments with synchronous replication for high availability. How does Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP achieve high availability in a multi-AZ deployment? By replicating data across multiple availability zones asynchronously. By leveraging Amazon EBS for persistent block storage. By using Amazon S3 Glacier for long-term backups. By maintaining an active/active cluster configuration across availability zones. In a multi-AZ deployment, Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP utilizes synchronous replication to maintain an active/active cluster configuration across availability zones, ensuring continuous file system access in case of an AZ outage. What is the advantage of using cloud-tier storage for Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP volumes? Reduced storage costs for infrequently accessed data. Improved IOPS performance for demanding workloads. Enhanced data durability and replication capabilities. Lower latency compared to performance-tier storage. Cloud-tier storage provides a cost-effective option for storing infrequently accessed data in Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP volumes, optimizing storage costs without impacting performance for frequently used data. Which AWS service can be used for monitoring Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP? Amazon CloudWatch. AWS X-Ray. AWS Personal Health Dashboard. Amazon Inspector. Amazon CloudWatch is the primary service used for monitoring Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP. Which AWS service can automate the creation and management of virtual private clouds for Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP? Amazon Poly. AWS CloudFormation. AWS IoT Core. AWS X-Ray. AWS CloudFormation can automate the creation and management of AWS resources. What are the two primary performance metrics used to measure the throughput of an Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP file system? Provisioned IOPS, throughput. Objects created, objects deleted. IOPS, egress bandwidth. Latency, ingress bandwidth. Provisioned IOPS specifies the number of input/output operations per second, while throughput indicates the data transfer rate of the file system. How does Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP ensure data integrity? By compressing data. By replicating data across regions. By using checksums. By using random access memory. Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP ensures data integrity through the use of checksums. What AWS service can help in monitoring and troubleshooting performance issues with Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP? AWS OpsWorks. AWS Personal Health Dashboard. AWS Code Build. Amazon CloudWatch Logs. Amazon CloudWatch Logs can be used to monitor and troubleshoot performance issues with Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP. What is a benefit of using Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP over traditional on-premises NetApp deployments? Simpler management interface. Faster access speed. Lower upfront costs only. Scalability and elasticity. Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP offers scalability and elasticity, which are key benefits over traditional on-premises deployments. What type of access control does Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP support? OAuth. SAML. LDAP. NFS v4.1 Kerberos. Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP supports NFS v4.1 Kerberos for access control. What protocol does Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP support for file access? SMTP. FTP. HTTP. NFS. Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP supports NFS for file access, aligning with typical NetApp ONTAP capabilities. What is the primary benefit of using Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP? High availability across availability zones. Familiar interface and tools for managing file storage. Improved elasticity for file storage. Reduced data storage costs. Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP provides a familiar ONTAP file system experience for migrating existing NetApp workloads to AWS. What is a key advantage of using Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP for workload migration? Support for only non-critical workloads. Lowest cost compared to other AWS storage services. Limited availability in specific AWS regions. Seamless compatibility with existing NetApp environments. Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP provides seamless compatibility with existing NetApp environments, simplifying workload migration. Which feature of Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP enables efficient data deduplication? Random access memory. GPU acceleration. Inline data compaction. CloudWatch metrics. Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP uses inline data compaction for efficient data deduplication. Which AWS service can automate the deployment of Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP? AWS Elastic Beanstalk. AWS OpsWorks. AWS Lambda. AWS CloudFormation. AWS CloudFormation can be used to automate the deployment of Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP resources. What is the maximum throughput per file system that Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP supports? 16 gigabytes per second. 10 megabytes per second. 1 gigabyte per second. 256 megabytes per second. Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP supports up to 16 gigabytes per second of throughput per file system. How does Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP ensure high availability? By using RAID. By integrating with AWS Lambda. By deploying in multiple availability zones. By using dual controllers. Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP achieves high availability by deploying across multiple availability zones. What is a limitation of Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP snapshots? They are automatically deleted after 30 days. They cannot be restored. They are only accessible from the AWS Management Console. They incur storage costs. Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP snapshots incur storage costs, unlike some other AWS services. How can you monitor the health and performance of an Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP file system? Employing AWS CloudTrail for API activity monitoring. By leveraging Amazon CloudWatch metrics and logs. Inspecting the Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP console directly. Utilizing AWS Config for resource configuration tracking. Amazon CloudWatch provides comprehensive monitoring capabilities for Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP, allowing users to track metrics like IOPS, throughput, and latency for performance analysis. And that's a wrap. Thanks to everyone who participated. Remember, you can answer along on quizalto.com, where you can keep track of your progress and find much more quizzes. We hope you had a fun and challenging time. Until next time. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel for more. Hit the bell icon to be notified as soon as we upload. Please leave a comment if you have any thoughts or suggestions, and if you think this video is worth sharing with someone who could benefit from it, please forward a link to them. See you next time. Thanks for watching.